Imagine discovering a document that officially doesn't exist, a file cited, but never found, a case mentioned by witnesses, but erased from public records. And when investigators tried to access it, the government responded, "No record found." But then the question arises, how can something that never existed leave traces? Today you will learn about the file they tried to erase from history. It all began with an obscure reference, a protocol number cited in an old report, an almost invisible line, in a declassified document, nothing detailed, nothing explained, just a mention, see attached file case unresolved. But the attachment wasn't there. Researchers requested access to the original file. Official response, document unavailable. They tried again. File does not exist, but something didn't make sense, because different reports, from different years cited the same non-existent file. A historian specializing in bureaucratic records commented, "It's not uncommon for documents to be lost or misclassified, but for a file to be cited by multiple independent sources, from different departments, and for the official system to claim it never existed, that's not a mistake. That's a deliberate action. It's a ghost in the machine, created by someone who wanted to erase the original record but missed the secondary references. It's the digital equivalent of a bloodstain under the carpet." Another researcher added, "We found a log from the internal mail system from 1982. It shows that a package with that exact protocol number was sent from the investigation department to the central archive. The package was received. It was signed for, so, for a period, the file physically existed in the archive. Then, a month later, all digital and physical entries related to it were zeroed out. The system doesn't say it was moved or destroyed. It says it was never there. This is technically impossible." Then the accounts emerged. A former administrative officer stated, "I saw the file. It was real, and it disappeared. It had a red cover, which meant it was flagged for special handling. We weren't supposed to read the contents, just process the transfer. But everyone knew that red files were the ones that could end careers." Another said, "After a certain year, no one could mention it anymore. It became a kind of urban legend in the office. The ghost file. Mentioning it in an official email would trigger an automatic alert to the security division. We learned to talk about it only in whispers, in the cafeteria." A third reported something more disturbing when the case was closed. "It wasn't archived. It was removed. I was there the night the cleaners came. They weren't from our department. They wore different uniforms, had higher clearance. They went straight to the archive, took the box, and left." The next morning, the archive manager was told he had imagined it. A retired IT technician added his testimony. "My job was to manage the database backups. One day, I received a direct order from a level of command I had never had contact with before. The order was to manually delete a specific record from all backups, both recent and old. It was a highly unusual and risky procedure. It was like surgically removing a memory from the system's brain. I did what I was told, but I kept a personal, encrypted copy of the record's metadata. I didn't dare keep the content, but I have proof that the record existed and was intentionally deleted, based on fragmented accounts." Investigators reconstructed part of the content. The file described an event considered impossible which violated known physical laws, contradictory reports from field agents, some of whom later recanted their statements under pressure, physical evidence that disappeared from a secure laboratory, and a conclusion marked as, "Not for public record." A former scientist from a connected laboratory, speaking anonymously, revealed, "We received samples for analysis. The material composition was anomalous. It didn't match any known element or alloy. The official report we were forced to sign stated that the samples were contaminated and the results were inconclusive. But that was a lie. The results were very conclusive. They were just unbelievable." Another source, a former intelligence analyst, added, "The file contained transcripts of interrogations, not with criminals, but with ordinary people who witnessed the event. Their testimonies were identical, down to the smallest detail, even though they were interviewed separately. They described something that shouldn't be possible." The final recommendation in the file was to place all witnesses under permanent, discreet surveillance and to discredit anyone who spoke publicly. But the strangest part was a final observation, a single sentence. "Further disclosure may cause public instability." Instability of what? Social, political, psychological, no one knows, because right after that observation, the file disappeared. The disappearance was not simple. Records were altered, references removed, protocols edited. An expert in digital forensics explained, "This wasn't a simple deletion. We're talking about a coordinated effort across multiple systems. They didn't just delete the file, they rewrote the logs to erase any trace of the deletion itself. It's a level of sophistication that suggests a state-level operation. It's not something a simple hacker could do. This required insider access and immense power. But the most curious thing was the silence. No official explanation, no correction, no direct denial, just a void. And when journalists investigated years later, the response was always the same. No official record found. A journalist who worked on the case in the 90s said, "We hit a wall of silence." It wasn't just that they denied the file's existence. My sources suddenly became terrified. People who had promised to talk backed out. One of them told me, "This isn't about hiding a secret. This is about pretending a secret never existed, and that's much more dangerous." My editor received a call from a government official suggesting I drop the story for my own good. But files don't disappear on their own. Someone decides, someone authorizes, someone executes, and someone knows why. Even erased, the case left shadows, cross-references, consistent testimonies, and gaps where data should be, like pages torn from history. A data analyst who studied the declassified archives noted, "You can see the void. There's a chronological and logical gap in the records. A series of events leads up to a certain point, and then, nothing. The follow-up is missing. It's like watching a movie where the final reel has been burned. The existence of this void is, in itself, proof that something was removed." And perhaps the most disturbing question is, how many other files have been erased? How many stories have been removed before anyone could read them? And more importantly, what was so sensitive that it couldn't be allowed to exist? A philosopher of information sciences offered a chilling thought. We live in an age where we believe everything is recorded, but we forget that the power to record is also the power to erase. And the perfect erasure is not one that leaves a mark, but one that makes you forget there was ever anything to mark. This case is a warning that our history may be more fragile and manipulated than we think. Today, the file remains officially non-existent, but independent investigators believe that parts of it still survive, in forgotten records, lost files, old protocols, and documents that no one was supposed to find. Because sometimes the truth is not hidden, it is erased, and in the next episode, a mysterious signal repeatedly picked up, with no known origin, and when it was analyzed it revealed something impossible, the signal no one could decode.